Welcome back, baseball fans, for game number 4 of the day. It is game number 12 on your bracket here in the TCCAA Baseball Conference Tournament, hosted on the campus of Volunteer State Community College here in Gallatin, Tennessee, just northeast of Nashville, Tennessee. These two teams will go at it again for the second time in this conference tournament. Southwest Tennessee defeated VolState 11-8 2 days ago. We are set to get started. Pioneers coming in with a 32-22 record. Southwest Tennessee 43-15. And VolState will be the visitors once again. Only been the home team once. Ethan Huddleston will lead off. He was 5 for 5 against Dyersburg State earlier today. Markel Dixon out on the mound for the second time to face the Pioneers this year, and we are underway at 10:10 p.m. Game time temperature 65 degrees. First pitch to Huddleston, misses high and inside. Ball 2. Now to the Pioneers shortstop. Huddleston hitting .315 after that 5 for 5. Timeout called. I think this is Brian Sheets behind home plate. Probably Todd Mullins at first and Tim Taylor at third. I think this is Tim Taylor doing every game today, and 3-0 count from Markel Dixon. Number 3 facing number 3, and the number 3 wearing the red jersey wins this one, and Ethan Huddleston will trot on down to first base with a leadoff walk. Brings the center fielder, Jake Burris, to the plate. On Tuesday, Ethan Huddleston went 0 for 5 in this game. Jake Burris went 1 for 5. Pioneers scored 8 runs on 13 hits. Jace Mizell had 3 of those as Jake Burris takes a healthy cut, comes up empty. An elimination game here at the Tennessee JUCO baseball tournament. Couple checks of the runner at first base, and that is a check swing down to Tyler Harrington at third. He'll throw on the run to retire Jake Burris. On the play, Ethan Huddleston moves to second base. Works just like a sacrifice bunt, but it's an at-bat for Jake Burris, who comes in hitting .293. Jake Burris will give Landon Gotze a little advice.
Landon Gotze.
Gotze hitting .366. Went 1 for 4 in the Dyersburg State win earlier today. Markel Dixon misses with that breaking pitch. That pitch misses. These two teams played earlier today and had to check to see if those games were put into the stats, as Markel Dixon gets wild with that one. And both games have been placed into the stat line, so I trust the National Junior College website as much as you can on who's putting the information in there. Not everybody is fastidious as I am. There's a 3-0 pitch on the outside corner at the knees. Markel Dixon on for his 14th start of the year, 60 innings, 50 hits, 39 runs. He has walked 44 batters, struck out 87 as Lanny Gotze fouls that one off to the right side. We'll have a full count Ministries, full count. Southwest Tennessee defeated Roan State earlier today, 11-3. Lost to Chat State last night, 13-3. Gave up 2 grand slams, and that is walk number 2 of the inning by Markel Dixon. Markel Dixon, 3rd in the conference in strikeouts with 87. His teammate Colton Brumley has 125. And Anthony Figueroa of Dyersburg State, whose season is now over, finished with 107 strikeouts. Jace Mizell hit the big blow to win the game for Pioneers. Looks at a called strike on the outside corner that's into the left-handed batter's box. He hit a 3-run home run off the best relief pitcher in the conference, Preston Martinez, in the top of the 9th to break a 6-6 tie. Huddleston leads off of second base. That breaking pitch misses. Copeland Bradford catching Markel Dixon, and I think that's probably a tall task. Markel Dixon so far in the top of the first inning is all over the map. 1-1 pitch, misses high. Mizell was 0 for 4 when he came to the plate with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 9th. He was due, and he hit his conference leading 18th home run of the season. There's another breaking pitch that misses high. Mizell hitting .357, playing in the 55th game of the year, which is as many as VolState has played. 3-1 pitch with 1 out coming, and that will be the 3rd walk of the inning. Markel Dixon is struggling to find the plate. And the owner of the only grand slam of the year for VolState is Carter Vrabel. And he is at the plate with the bases loaded with 1 out. Vrabel hitting .299, 8 home runs, 33 RBIs. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Markel Dixon started against the Pioneers back on April 8th. In game 1 of the doubleheader. It was the 2nd game of the series after VolState defeated Southwest Tennessee 6-5 in game 1. Game 2 for the Pioneers did not go the same way. Southwest Tennessee won it in walk-off in the bottom of the 9th inning. Sorry, the bottom of the 7th. It was a 7-inning game. There's a breaking pitch that catches that outside corner. Carter Vrabel looks back at Brian Sheets in disbelief. Vrabel was 1 for 2 off of Markel Dixon, who went 3+ innings, gave up 4 hits and 6 runs. That slider will miss outside. Dixon's 6 runs were earned, walked 6 batters in those 3+ innings. Gave way to Wesley Cully, who pitched earlier today. Cully, I would assume, is not available here for this game. 2-2 pitch, just misses. Guessing a little bit high. Well, the full count Ministries. Full count with the bases loaded. And the pitch. Swing and a miss as Markel Dixon about fell off the mound as his hat fell off. So a no on a full count first pitch foul ball as Markel Dixon just reared back and fired that one. As they say, played old-fashioned hardball.
Next to bat for VolState.
2 outs now in the top of the first inning.
Luderman.
Landon Luderman, freshman from Knoxville Catholic High School, steps into the plate. First strikeout for Dixon. Pioneers looking to take an early lead. A slider from Dixon catches that outside corner. Huddleston on at third. Godsey on at second. Jace Mizell at first base. All the recipients of a walk from Markel Dixon. Luderman sees another breaking pitch on the outside corner. He's down in the count 0-2. Luderman did not play in that game back in April. That pitch gets past the catcher. Here comes Huddleston, and the flip from the catcher will get over the head of Markel Dixon. Ethan Huddleston will go back and make sure that he touches home plate. And he will be a kind gentleman and retrieve the helmet for Copeland Bradford. Pioneers get on the board with the Framework Athletics. First run of the game. Godsey moves up to third. And Mizell to second on the wild pitch. Thanks to Framework Athletics for their support of VolState. Framework Athletics for their support of VolState Athletics. Landon Luderman still has 2 runners in scoring position and a 2-strike count, but he swings over the breaking pitch. 2 strikeouts for Markel Dixon, but trumped by 3 walks and a wild pitch to produce the first run of the ball game. Pioneers up 1-0. We're just getting started in the first inning. You're listening to TCCAA action on the VolState Sports Network. Noah Eatman on the mound for the Pioneers. Freshman out of Parrish, Florida, getting his first start of the year. He has 13 appearances, all in relief, but getting his first start. 3-0 record, 3.70 ERA, 24-plus innings of work, 25 hits, 10 runs that were earned, walked 6, struck out 20. Opponents hitting .301 off of the freshman right-hander. He'll face Tui Cope to lead off the ball game, and throws a first pitch strike. Eatman delivers. That ball's in the hole, and that will be an infield single for Tui Cope. Ethan Huddleston had no chance on that ball in the hole. The way Tui Cope can run. An infield single gets the bottom of the first started for the Salukis of Southwest Tennessee. So there's the first hit of the ball game.
Now batting for Southwest, number 2,
Anthony Zarlingo steps in. He sees a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. Zarlingo was 2 for 5 in the Roan State game earlier today. Throw over to first base. Cope back in time. Cope 38 stolen bases to lead the conference. Being caught 6 times. Stays put on that outside fastball. One ball, one strike. Another throw over to first base. Online stats indicate that Caleb Hawkins has thrown out 9 base runners, but as I went back and looked at my stats, I have a conflicting report. I have Caleb Hawkins throwing out 12 batters or 12 runners on the season, so I'm not sure what happened with the stats. Another throw over to first base. Quick move by Eatman to try to keep Cope close at first base. Lingo was 0 for 5 in the first game between these two clubs here in the tournament. Batting here in the bottom of the first with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. That misses way outside. Zarlingo 2 for 12 in the tournament. The throw over to first base. In the same game that Markel Dixon started back in April, Eli Clotfilter started that game, and Noah Eatman came on in relief. He threw 3 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw gets into center field. Tui Cope is up. He will retreat back to the bag. So a stolen base for Tui Cope while Anthony Zarlingo strikes out swinging. 1 out and a runner at second base.
Next to bat for Southwest.
Tyler Harrington, the Conference Player of the Year, will step in. Harrington singled off of Eatman in his only plate appearance a month ago. That pitch gets out of the glove of Caleb Hawkins, but not far enough away for Cope to advance. Eatman did not face Harrington in the first game of the tournament. He pitched to 2 batters and retired Bryce Turner and R.H. Franklin to end the 8th inning. Pioneers could not score in the 9th. He pops that one up on the right side of the infield. Landon Godsey says he has it, and will look way up into the night sky. Wait for that ball to come down into his glove for out number 2.
Now batting for
2 outs and a runner at second. Noah Eatman trying to work out of the jam. Brady Holloway, the first baseman and cleanup hitter for the Salukis, steps in. 0 for 3 against Roan. Had an RBI on a sacrifice fly. That fastball misses outside. Holloway 1 for 1 in the Chat State game last night, and in game 1 of action against VolState, he had a big game. 3 for 4. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Now a 2-ball, no strike count to the left-handed hitter. He's from Proctor, Arkansas, Evangelical Christian High School. Swings and pops one up. That might be playable off to the left side. Foul territory. Carter Vrabel over, and he will not be able to make the catch. Out of my view, it's on the other side of the dugout, but apparently it fell in within the fenced area. Didn't see what happened down there.
It looks like he misread it.
Might have overrun it, which is very possible. That happens a lot on a long run by a corner infielder. 2 balls and a strike to Brady Holloway. Fouls another one off. This will get out of play, and Carter Vrabel won't have to run over there and try to catch that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the first baseman. Holloway hitting .362. Which is 4th on the club. Of those who start, foul that one off straight back. Tyler Harrington leads the squad, 443. Of course, he led the entire conference. That's why he's the player of the year. B.J. Banyan hitting .395. Number 7 hole hitter in this lineup. Number 2 hitting team by average behind the number 1 squad, Walter State. Team is hitting .340. Tui Cope .363. That average will go up with the leadoff single, infield single. And then Brady Holloway at .362. Two-way player Hayden Collins, who pitched in game 1 today against Roan State, has a .352 batting average. Popped up, another one out of play. Hayden Collins only has 19 hits in 54 at-bats. Not used on a regular basis. They got some hitters, though. Anthony Zarlingo comes in at .322, is pulling the team average down. That's hard to believe. 2-2 pitch. Brady Holloway now leading the league in foul balls, at least consecutive foul balls, and Brian Sheets, the home plate umpire, will receive some new pearls from Tanner Bumbelow. Bumbelow pitched 4 1/3 innings a couple days ago against this team. Launched out to right center field. Over in the gap is Jace Mizell. Did he come up with it? He did not. Jake Burris will pick that one up in right center field at the fence. Jace Mizell had a long run to try to get to that one. Out of my eyesight range as we're 4 games deep here into this day and 12 games, 14 games into calling. So these tired eyes not seeing it, but that'll be a double and an RBI and a Framework Athletics first run of the game. Ties this one up for Southwest Tennessee. Thought Holloway might have had a 2-run home run, but stayed in the park. But an RBI double puts Holloway on in second, and Tui Cope in the dugout with a run scored. Bryce Turner steps in, the DH. Second team all-conference selection, swings and misses at that breaking pitch. Turner from Patriot, Indiana, just outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. Turner hitting .343. That fastball misses way outside. That was Brady Holloway's 10th double of the year. And his 59th RBI, which is second on the team to Tyler Harrington's 72. That one sliced off to the right side. Noah Eatman trying to give the Pioneers a couple innings here. See if they can piecemeal a pitching staff. 1-2 pitch. Changeup looked like, or something off speed. Fouled back. On deck, R.H. Franklin, hoping to get an at-bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Fastball misses high and away. One run in on 2 hits. A Tui Cope infield single and a double to the base of the wall that Jace Mizell nearly was able to catch. Noah Eatman gets Bryce Turner swinging on the breaking pitch to retire the side, but 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 runner left on base. 1-1 as we head to the second inning. You're watching the VolState Sports Network.
Leading off the top of the second for VolState.
1-1 in game number 12 of the TCCAA conference tournament. 4th game of the day, and Caleb Hawkins will step in to face Markel Dixon. 7, 8, and 9 come to the plate in the second. First pitch swinging is Caleb Hawkins. Fouls that one off to the right side. Hawkins is in for the injured Braden Vineyard, who went out in game 1. This game right here against Southwest Tennessee on Tuesday. Vineyard injured in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hawkins went 2 for 4 in that game. He's now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Reaches out and punches one out to right field, but R.H. Franklin will get under that for the catch. 1 out. Big Jay Charla steps in.
Now batting for VolState, number 35. Jay
Sophomore from Murfreesboro Riverdale High School. First pitch from Dixon, way wild down low. Big Jay Charla had a 2-run double against Dyersburg State in the 9-6 win earlier today. Now looking at 2 balls and no strikes. At the time, I believe that gave the Pioneers the lead. There's a 2-0 pitch in there for a called strike. Charlotte also walked in that game. One for 4 against Motlow State. And 1 for 3 against the Salukis in game 1. So he's had a hit in every game. 3-game hitting streak. All here in the tournament. 3-1 count goes to a Full Count Ministries full count. Charlotte hitting .275, 33rd game of the year. Left fielder for VolState, swinging it from the left side, hitting with nobody on and 1 out here in the top of the second. He will watch a breaking pitch stay inside. There is the 4th walk of the ball game for Markel Dixon. Pioneers still have not manufactured a hit yet, but had 4 base runners, 3 in the first inning, and thanks to a wild pitch by Markel Dixon, they got their Framework Athletics first run of the game. Matt Hall steps in. He is 1 for 10 for the tournament. Went 0 for 4 earlier today. Got his lone hit against the Salukis in the top of the 9th inning. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. A sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky, second baseman. Markel Dixon looking for a doodat double play off the bat of Matt Hall. Throw over to first base, almost over the head of Brady Holloway, who stands at 6'2". Markel Dixon, not a little guy himself. He's 6'1", but 160 pounds. He might be a biscuit heavier than 160. Tapped foul toward the Saluki dugout. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. The pitch is on the outside corner, says home plate umpire Brian Sheets. Let me just tell you, folks, you're not going to see that wide of a strike zone in Division I college baseball. I'm pretty confident.
Now batting for VolState.
That is a wide margin.
Huddleston.
But it's the same margin for both teams. 3rd strikeout for Markel Dixon. 2nd out. Ethan Huddleston steps in. He sees an off-speed pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. He walked and scored in the first inning. He has reached base the last 8 straight times at a plate. Another throw over to first base in the 6-4 win over VolState. Huddleston went 3 for 5, so in his last 2 games, he is 8 for 10. 0 for 5 in the game against Southwest Tennessee, and he's now down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. He actually grounded into a 5-4-3 double play to end the ball game. And 5 official plate appearances in each of the 3 games here in the tournament. Now 8 for 15 in the tournament. 3 doubles. Runner is bluffs to go to second base as that slider misses way outside. Nice play by Copeland Bradford to get a glove on that one. Pioneers played the first game of the day this morning, defeated the number 4 seed Dyersburg State Eagles. That pitch sails high. Telling you, you cannot dig in right here against Markel Dixon. He hasn't hit anybody yet, but he looks like all the world like he's going to. 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Huddleston will get some aluminum on that one. Dixon only hit 4 batters all year. Stats indicate he has 8 wild pitches. That seems surprising to me. Must be a testament to the catchers. Now has 9 wild pitches. And he gets a swinging a foul tip into the glove as a pitch just dropped when it got to the plate. And there's the first time in a while that Ethan Huddleston has not reached base. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Headed to the bottom of the second, 1-1. R.H. Franklin will lead off for the Salukis, facing Noah Eatman. Gave up an infield single and Tui Cope, who later came around to score on a double by Brady Holloway. That ball is popped up and out of play by R.H. Franklin. That offering from Eatman misses down low. 5 left-handed batters or switch hitters in the lineup for Eric Schoenrock, Southwest Tennessee. Called strike. At 1 ball and 2 strikes. Southwest Tennessee defeated Volunteer State on Tuesday 11-8. Lost to Chattanooga State last night 13-3 and defeated Roane State earlier today 11-3. to get to this ball game versus VolState, who, after being defeated by Southwest Tennessee, defeated Motlow State 6-4 and Dyersburg State 9-6. Another foul ball off to the left side. Not a lot of fans in attendance here. You know, it is a school night. Glad to have you on the VolState Sports Network as that ball is lined out to right field. Jace Mizell over and makes a diving catch. This one stays in his glove. Put a star by that one. Jace Mizell slides on the wet grass and keeps the ball dry. Sharply hit ball by R.H. Franklin with the first out of the second. B.J. Banyan steps in, the center fielder, hitting from the right side. Slow breaker, apparently misses high. Count now goes 2 balls and no strikes. And Josh Griffin, VolState alum, now the shortstop for Trevecca Nazarene University, says, "Let's go Nears," as he's watching the broadcast on the VolState YouTube channel. Jamie Mizell wide awake for this late night game. Mother of Jace Mizell in Metropolis, and another fellow alum, Gavin Wolf, from Grove City, Ohio, and current, well, I want to say it right. I'm an Ohio boy, so Otterbein and Oberlin, two colleges in Ohio, I believe. And I want to say it's Otterbein. Is that right? It's Otterbein. As DJ Qualls says yes. Hello to Gavin Wolf. Joe Athey, assume in Maryland, watching. Swing and a miss, and Eatman retires the first 2 batters he faces in the bottom of the second inning. That's his 3rd strikeout. So a nice play by Jace Mizell, and a strikeout. Brings Blake Rowe to the plate, playing in his 2nd straight game at shortstop. Hello to Mike B. in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That's the home of Owen Brock, right? That's where the Chattanooga State Tigers. Cam Madding checks in. Freed Hardman, first baseman. Former Pioneer a year ago, along with Gavin Wolf and Josh Griffin. See how many others we can get that are tuning in on the VolState Sports Network. 0-2 pitch just misses. Matt Hall out at second base thought that might have been strike 3, and we'll see another pitch. Suzanne Godsey watching in Indy. Swing and a miss. Noah Eatman gets a 1-2-3 inning. Strikes out 2 more batters. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We're through 2 innings, 1-1 here at Pioneer Field. Tim Reese and Reagan Smith here for the long haul. Been here since probably about 8:30 this morning. Game one started right around 10 a.m. between the Pioneers and Dyersburg State Eagles, and this is game 4 for the broadcast crew. Pride of Grove City, former high school teammate of Gavin Wolf and college teammate to Gavin Wolf. Josh Griffin and Cam Matting steps in, swings at the first pitch from Markel Dixon. Comes up empty. He grounded out to third base in the first inning. There's a slider that misses away. Hello to Dave Holbrook. Sherry Burris listening in from Grove City along with Jake's grandparents. Probably both sets as it is nearing midnight in the Buckeye State. Driven into right field, sends R.H. Franklin back, but he can get under that one and make the catch. Line out to right field for the first out. Get in on the fun. Send a chat on the YouTube channel. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're rooting for. I think it makes it more fun to watch the game. You don't get that on these big broadcasts. That ball took a bite out of Bradford behind the plate. As I said, Markel Dixon cannot be an easy pitcher to catch. Godsey, one of the 3 recipients of walks in the first inning, hitting .366 as we start play here. He swings, fouls that one off. The Belmont University commitment, his associate head coach coming up this fall, Aaron Smith, was here earlier today, and I believe he was here yesterday as well. 1 ball, 1 strike to Godsey. That pitch misses outside. I believe Landon Godsey actually, if I remember, hit .366 a year ago. I don't know that I have that stat sitting around. I didn't bring that piece of paper from the regular season, but it's my recollection. He is hitting .366 now. And a late swing there and fouls that one down the right side. 67 hits leads the squad. Chase Mizell, 1 behind him. Carter Vrabel leads with 17 doubles, and Godsey and Mizell tied at 15 apiece. Godsey with 8 home runs and 46 RBIs, slugging at .579. And that pitch misses away. We'll have a full count. Ministries full count. Landon Godsey, Jace Mizell, and Carter Vrabel, the 3 players for VolState, have played in every inning of every game, and it's full count. Okay. That's the international sign from DJ Qualls that says, hey, I've pressed the button. The machine is just not recording it. There's a delay on the Wi-Fi. Full count pitch. This is high, and Godsey will walk for the second time. That is 5 walks for Markel Dixon.
Next to bat for VolState, number 34,
Jace Mizell, first team all-conference outfielder, steps in. Landon Godsey, second team all-conference at first base. 2 Pioneers along with Parker White, who was all-team or second team all-conference in starting pitching. Congratulations to those 3 young men and their families for recognition for their excellence this year. One 0 turns into a 2-0. Markel Dixon walked 9 batters in a 20-10 loss at Walters State. Walked 6 against the Pioneers down in Millington. There's a swing and a miss on a slider. 2-0 slider. Mizell was looking for something in the zone, and Dixon wasn't going to oblige with a straight fastball. He walked 7 at Chattanooga State in 1 2/3 innings. Only walked 2 and struck out 4 in 5 innings, and lost to Cleveland State. That ball low and away. Count goes 3 balls and 1 strike. Winner of this game gets Chattanooga State tomorrow at 1 p.m. Winner of that game gets Walters State at 4 p.m. Tomorrow, another one yanked, and Mizell will take a walk, putting runners at first and second with 1 out. 2 games scheduled tomorrow, and an if necessary game on Saturday.
Now batting for VolState.
If somebody should happen to defeat Walters State. Walters defeated Chattanooga 15-8. Just prior to this game. 2 on, 1 out. Carter Vrabel stepping in. He struck out with the bases loaded in the first. Looking for a base hit to drive a run in right here, and here's a ball that will get down in front of the left fielder. They're going to go ahead and send the runner as that ball gets by Anthony Zarlingo. Carter Vrabel will cruise into second base. I'm going to have to see that. I was looking at Landon Godsey. Hopefully we got that. That will get out of play, or out of view, so we don't really see what happened down there. I was looking at Landon Godsey to see if he was, or why he was holding up. That ball booted in left field. Anybody see that? Landon Luderman will step in as Pioneers have taken the lead 2-1. Honestly, I didn't see the play. Do you think if you thought it was an error, then put it up on the board? Single and an error. Swing and a miss by Landon Luderman.
Now batting for VolState, number 20.
It's going to be an RBI for Carter Vrabel. And Mizell and Vrabel move up 90 feet on the error. Luderman swings and misses at a pitch low and outside the zone. He struck out to end the first inning. That ball hits the grass. It's going to be wet. That may have, in fact, been what happened out there for Anthony Zarlingo. So 2 walks out of the 6 provided by Markel Dixon has come into roost for the Pioneers, who lead 2-1. That was the first base hit of the ball game, delivered by Carter Vrabel. Time is called. Not sure what happened or who called that timeout. A pitch clock violation. Thank you. The count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Pioneer DH. Swinging a foul tip into the mid for strike 3. Luderman now down on strikes for the second time. That is the 5th strikeout for Markel Dixon. Caleb Hawkins steps in, the redshirt sophomore. Transfer from Wabash Valley and Dyersburg State. That win against his former teammates at Dyersburg State, was sweet, I'm sure, for Caleb Hawkins. Here's a shot down the third base line, and Chase Mizell standing down there has to play dodgeball right there. He was not harmed. That's why you stand in foul territory. It's only because if you get hit, you're not out. It's not because it's a safer place. Hawkins flew out to lead off the second inning. Takes some rocks and fires. That pitch and misses way outside. Kerry Franklin watching from Germantown, Tennessee. There's a nice slider by Markel Dixon. It's a transfer from Southern University. He played there last year. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. One ball, two strikes to the Pioneer catcher. That pitch will stay high. Two balls, two strikes is the count. Is our scoreboard or the clock getting tired there, Qualsey? 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That ball's in the dirt. Copeland Bradford has to block that. Playing hockey goalie. Haven't had a chance to check out the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs the last several days. Lucky to get home and get 6 hours of sleep. Not complaining, just stating facts. This has been a fun week for me. We'll have a Full Count Ministries full count. Jay Charla will come to the plate with the bases loaded with 2 outs. Could it be Charla time as it was against Dyersburg State?
Now batting for VolState, number 35, Jay Charla.
Fastball misses up. A little smaller strike zone as Markel Dixon's now asking where that pitch was. Jay Charla is 5'9". Home plate umpire Brian Sheets is now taking the mask off, and he is laying down the law to Markel Dixon in the Salukis dugout. Not sure what's happening, but I know Markel Dixon's asking where the pitch was. Jay Charla will back away from that one, and an umpire balk right there. He's about to call that one a strike. Now he's coming over to talk to the Salukis dugout. Brian Sheets not making half the population here. Happy in the 2-0 count to Jay Charla. Now 3 balls and no strikes. Charla was the fourth recipient of a walk from Markel Dixon. He has since walked 2 more. Landon Gotze, who's already scored, and Jace Mizell is standing at third. Carter Vrabel singled. Caleb Hawkins, the 7th walk, standing down at first base. That 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. The 3-1 pitch popped up, and that will get out of play just over the Pioneer dugout. Big Kayla Pika busted it out of the dugout there to get that foul ball. We'll have a Full Count Ministries full count delivered to Jay Charla. I see, there's Dylan Pennick has shown up, and the runners take off. Swing and a miss. Charla down on strikes. Big pitch by Markel Dixon as he is working hard. That is 6 strikeouts now for Dixon, but the Pioneers take the lead on 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 runners left on base. Heading to the bottom of the third, 2-1 lead for the VolState Pioneers. Gonna have to have a vote on our chat line at some point in time on what song selection we need to add on in between innings. Noah Eatman back out for the bottom of the third inning. First plate appearance for Copeland Bradford in the game here in the bottom of the third inning. Breaking pitch fouled just off the screen. Bradford from Lebanon, Tennessee. The pitch misses away, the home of Chase Birdwell. Relief pitcher for the Pioneers, who gutted one out today. Ended up getting the win, moving to 3-2 as Eatman has struck out 3 batters in a row now. Bradford goes down on strikes.
Now batting for Southwest.
Bring the top of the lineup to the plate. He had an infield single in the first and scored the only run. Turned around, laid his bat down, and I thought, what is going on? And apparently his batting glove's a little bit wet, needs to dry him off. Maybe felt that bat starting to come out of his hands. One ball, one strike to Tui Cope, the second baseman for Southwest Tennessee. At an all-star caliber type year for Southwest Tennessee. One ball, 2 strikes. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. First team all-conference second baseman was Cooper Torres for Walters State. Second team is Jackson Diamond for Columbia State. Tough to beat this guy right here for the money, and he goes down swinging. That is the 28th strikeout of the year for Tui Cope.
Next to bat for Southwest, number 2, Anthony Zarlingo.
Zarlingo steps in. He was a strikeout victim in the first inning. Noah Eatman, 6 Ks, 2 in each of the first 3 innings. Got it going on, the freshman from Parrish, Florida. That pitch catches the outside corner, and Zarlingo turns away in disgust at that call. Oh, 2 pitch misses way outside. It's past 11:15 here Central Time. Thanks for staying up late to watch TCCAA Baseball Conference action. The loser of this game, season will be over. The winner gets to live again tomorrow. Play Chattanooga State at 1 p.m. Central Time. Breaking pitch swung on in the dirt. Caleb Hawkins will have to throw down to first base. Noah Eatman has struck out the side. We are through 3 innings. Pioneers lead 2-1. You're watching TCCAA action on the VolState Sports Network.
Number 2, Matt Hall.
Matt Hall steps in to face Markel Dixon. Looked like he tried to have a little conversation with the home plate umpire and seemed to be congenial. Back out for inning number 4, trying to give the Salukis some innings. He will square around the bunt. That ball's in the dirt, pops up into Matt Hall's hand. Copeland Bradford was looking around for it, had no idea what happened to it. Matt says, here it is. Ball 2 inside to Matt Hall. He struck out looking in the second inning. Long look into the catcher, and the pitch, swing and a miss on that slider. 2-1 pitch to Hall, driven out to center field. That's well hit. See if B.J. Banyan can make the catch, and he does. A nice diving catch by B.J. Banyan. Put a star by that one. He got wet, laid out Superman style. Hard hit ball by Matt Hall. But out number one here in the top of the fourth inning.
Ethan Huddleston.
Bring us back to the top of the lineup. Ethan Huddleston, who's walked, scored, and struck out. Not all in the same at-bat, but all in the same game. Slider stays high. Huddleston now looks at 2 balls and no strikes. Hit into the hole. It's short. Picked up by Rowe, but he will not make a throw. There's an infield single for Ethan Huddleston, second hit of the ball game for VolState. And Ethan Huddleston starts another string of on base.
Next at bat for VolState, number 14.
After being retired on the strikeout. He had 8 in a row being on base. His on base average up to .436 coming into this game. That ball's in the dirt, gets away from Bradford. Huddleston will round second base, but he will drop the anchor there. Second wild pitch by Markel Dixon here in the ball game. Both while Ethan Huddleston's been on base, once while he was on first just now, and the first time when he was on third base with the bases loaded. That's how he scored the first run of the ball game. Jake Burris 0 for 2, ground out and a line out to the right fielder. Pitch it gets by Copeland again, and there's a decision probably for the scorekeeper there as to whether or not that is a wild pitch or a pass ball. See if I can see that on the replay. That will be a pass ball in my estimation as I look at that. Regardless, Ethan Huddleston is down at third base with 1 out. Jake Burris will try to drive him in to give the Pioneers a 2-run lead. Pitch wild outside, a 3-0 count to Jake Burris. Hello to Dylan Pennick, former pitcher here at VolState, now down at Searcy, Arkansas. 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. At Harding University. From Guthrie, Kentucky. Worn number 5. Being worn now by Jacob Messer. 3-1 pitch. That will miss outside. Walk number 8 for Markel Dixon. It is a tough line to be walking for Eric Schoenrock. How long do you leave Markel Dixon in there? We have a first and third situation brought to you by Line to Line, and GTSF Game Time Sports Field are the grounds crew this week for the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association conference tournaments, both here at baseball field and softball. Landon Godsey into the plate, and that ball gets away, and Ethan Huddleston will score for the second time on a wild pitch. Jake Burris moves on down to second base. Pioneers now lead 3-1. There is action down in the bullpen. Looking through a couple sets of screens, and so right-hander is about all I can see with these binoculars that I have. Swing and a miss by Godsey. One ball, one strike on the sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana. Burris taking off. Pitch is inside. Throw down to third base is not in time, and Harrington tried to keep the tag on as there was a chance that Burris may have come off the bag down there at third base. That pitch nearly hit Landon Godsey, but the pitch carried Copeland Bradford toward third base, made it actually easier to make the throw as he stood behind or went behind Landon Godsey to make that throw. But another runner at third base with less than 2 outs. Godsey again nearly hit. Count goes 3 balls and a strike. He has walked twice already. Scored on the base hit by Carter Vrabel in the third inning. 3-1 count and a 3-1 pitch. The 3-1 count as a 3-1 score up on the board. Godsey fouls that one off. We'll have a full count. Ministries full count. This game is live, Kenneth. Troy M, I believe, is going to be Troy Martin as that breaking pitch just missed somewhere. Markel Dixon cannot believe it. He wants to ask again where that ball is, and home plate umpire Brian Sheets says it is up, and out of the dugout comes Elliot Bush, I believe. I think he is. I know it's not head coach Eric Schoenrock. I keep saying that. I've just not been introduced to the coaching staff for Southwest Tennessee. That is walk number 9 for Markel Dixon. I believe that ties his high water mark in walks for the year, and that puts runners at first and third, brought to you by Line to Line. Big shout out to those fellas been taking care of the fields all week long. From Line to Line, Bill Marbett, Stephen Dotson, and the crew. In between each of these games, they're out there working the dirt, dragging the field, relining batter's box. We got an hour and a half weather delay put on the tarp in game 1 right after 11 o'clock, so about an hour into game 9 of the tournament, game 1 of the day. And that backed things up a little bit, so that's why we're playing baseball at 11:30 p.m. Jace Mizell stands in there, the conference leader in home runs. 63 RBIs. He's walked. Got Jake Burris in a rundown, and he is tagged out at the plate, still sitting on it. So I think he may have caught a spike or something. I don't think he was trying to run over the catcher. That's a pickoff from Markel Dixon. So 1-5 to 2. Umpires will gather together maybe to see if they deemed that Jake Burris was trying to bowl over the catcher Copeland Bradford. I just watched the replay. I was looking down when Markel Dixon makes the move. I'm telling you, that's pretty darn close to a balk. He stepped toward the middle of the baseline. You don't see that move very often going from the pitcher. Umpires have made their decision now, and I'm assuming it's not deemed egregious where they think that throwing out Jake Burris is the right decision. Copeland Bradford apparently a little bit banged up still. I think that play right there may have caught the umpires off guard, although it's similar to the left-hander throwing, so it's a hard play actually to call as an umpire. But a pickoff of Jake Burris at third base. Scored 1-5-2, and that is out number 2. On the play, Landon Godsey moves to second base. All-world athletic trainer Justin McKinney is hustling over to the Salukis dugout, maybe to check on the catcher. I'm not sure if we are sure that now we got issues going maybe between the team and Todd Mullins, the first base umpire. I believe that's Todd Mullins. He's calling the coaches over. Talking to both head coaches, Eric Schoenrock and Jim McGuire. Jim McGuire not happy with that umpire. You know, that may not be Todd Mullins. We're going to have a new pitcher down here. I don't know what's happening. The first base umpire is looking down to the bullpen. As maybe we got a new catcher. I'm not sure what's happening. But Copeland Bradford is not in the game. We have athletic director Bobby Hudson that's being called. He is a commissioner here for the baseball, or an assistant commissioner, I think. Foster Chasen is the commissioner. Bobby Hudson is talking to somebody in the stands, I believe. John Ripel, the assistant coach, first base coach, asking Jim McGuire, the head baseball coach for VolState, to come gather for a meeting as the first base umpire. Looks like he's wearing a hat that is not from around this area. I don't know that I recognize it. Of course, Bobby Hudson is Jim McGuire's head coach, but right now Bobby Hudson's got to be wearing a hat that is not the athletic director of VolState. Bobby Hudson's having to talk to somebody who's being very vocal in the stands, and now we got additional people talking to Bobby Hudson. Some Southwest Tennessee fans are not happy. The man at the top of the stands here is getting very irate, yelling at Bobby Hudson, who's one of the most gentle men you'll ever meet in your life. But this is a tense situation, and this game means a lot to both squads. Looks like we'll have a new catcher, Copeland Bradford, out of the game. Evan Ash has the gear on and out on the field. Bobby Hudson now talking to all the fans. Not a whole lot here in behind home plate and to the left and right of the press box, but probably not 30 fans here behind home plate, but there are several very vocal. Have no idea what happened coming out of the dugouts, but as one fan was indicating that they started it over there, pointing toward the Pioneers dugout. I don't think that Jake Burris has been tossed out of this game. I don't see any indication that that happened, but he was picked off. It looked like he stumbled as he was trying to, I'm not sure if he was trying to slide or exactly what happened, but we've had about almost a 10-minute delay waiting on the conference between the umpires and then the conference between the assistant commissioner, I believe Bobby Hudson is. He's the athletic director here at VolState, but he also wears a National Junior College hat, NJCAA hat, and he is an administrator here for this game in a conference-wide capacity. 2 outs. We are ready to resume play. Landon Gotze standing down at second base. Markel Dixon still on the mound. Jace Mizell looks at a first pitch for a called strike. He has walked twice. 9 walks for Markel Dixon. We'll see how that delay. So far, Markel Dixon looks like he's settled in with 2 strikes to Jace Mizell. Fouls that one off. So I would assume warnings have been issued to both benches. Hope and pray that Copeland Bradford is okay. Swing and a miss, and Markel Dixon strikes out Jace Mizell. And that ends the inning. 1 run on the wild pitch after Ethan Huddleston had an infield single. Pioneers lead 3-1. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. Tim Reese and Reagan Smith tucked away up here in the press box, away from any heated fans. Might need to lock the door over there, Reagan. Noah Eatman back for inning number 4. Seems like we've been here forever. Eatman has pitched the first third of this ball game and trying to get through now the 4th inning. We'll face 3, 4, and 5, and that is a tall task for this squad. Tyler Harrington shaking his head, saying he agrees with that call. 2 balls, no strikes to the Salukis third baseman. There's a pitch on the outside corner, called strike. Keith Bell back from Busan, South Korea. I have no idea how to say B-U-S-A-N, South Korea, but I like to try it anyway. Busan. Wonder what time it is That ball's drilled down the left field line. That'll get in for extra bases. That dude can hit. Jay Charlotte gets to it quickly. Throw in to the infield, and Tyler Harrington is trying to get his ball club revved up. Elimination game here, playing late at night. Brady Holloway steps to the plate. He doubled to right center field on a play that Jace Mizell nearly stole a hit away from Brady Holloway. It's a good comment right there on the YouTube chat from Keith Bell regarding Bobby Hudson and Fanatics in general. Game 12 of the Region 7 Conference Tournament. Swing and a miss on a changeup from Noah Eatman. Cade Sanders getting loose down in the Pioneer bullpen. Bryce Turner on deck. Swinging a foul ball off to the left side. The league leader in foul balls, Brady Holloway. Tyler Harrington is a smooth operator out there. We might have to change it from an MGM Industries foul ball to a Brady Holloway foul ball. $100 a dozen. Pioneers are sending people out of the dugout to get these foul balls. Other teams aren't doing that as that pitch sails way outside. That pitch makes the count full. A full count Ministries full count. Brady Holloway. I mean, he's a sure bet. If he swings, he fouls it, right? Make some money. I'd go lunch at McDonald's. Does not swing, and that breaking pitch misses outside. That's the first walk of the ball game for Noah Eatman, and out of the Pioneer dugout comes pitching coach Braden Kale to check on his freshman right-hander. First two have reached here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Pioneer scored one in the first. Southwest matched it in the bottom of the first. VolState one in the third and one in the fourth to take a 3-1 lead. 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors for VolState. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error. Up on the Toyota of Gallatin scoreboard, and that matches what I have on my score sheet. '59th game of the year for Southwest Tennessee, 55th for the Pioneers. The most important game right now, we have timeout called. Our first base umpire is
Next to bat for Southwest.
was now talking
Turner.
to his counterpart down there at third base, trying to get him to get into the middle of the field, but first base umpire will take it. Normally it's the third base umpire, and that breaking pitch gets in there for a called strike. Now we're going to make the change. Why, I'm not sure we didn't do it before that. I don't know, but I believe the right mechanics is that the first base umpire stays down that first base line when runners at first and second. Square to bunt. That's popped up and might be playable, but Caleb Hawkins did not see that off the bat. That will fall down inside the fenced area. The count will go no balls and 2 strikes to the second team all-conference DH, Bryce Turner. Freshman from Patriot, Indiana. Went to Switzerland County High School. Nearly took a hack at that one. But able to check his swing. Turner hitting .343, 4 home runs, 32 RBIs. One-two pitch misses outside. Two on, nobody out. Fouled straight back. Bryce Turner in the game down at USA Stadium when he faced Noah Eatman and flew out to center field in his only at-bat. Throw back to second base, and Harrington back in time. Two balls, 2 strike pitch. That's high and inside. We'll have another full count. Ministries full count. R.H. Franklin is standing on deck. Noah Eatman walks Turner, and the bases are now loaded, and I'm guessing that is the end of the line for Noah Eatman, and out of the dugout comes Jim McGuire. Well, the pitching change. We'll be right back to tell you about the new pitcher. We return on the VolState Sports Network. We got action everywhere in this ball game. Some of it on the field, some of it in the stands. Bases are loaded. Some are a Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for Pioneers. Cade Sanders on in relief of Noah Eatman. First pitch from Sanders catches the outside corner for a called strike. R.H. Franklin steps in with bases loaded and nobody out. Sanders is on for the 16th time of the year. 25 innings, 24 strikeouts. That ball's fisted. Tough play right there. Is no play as Carter Vrabel tried to cut that off before it gets to Ethan Huddleston, but that'll be an infield single off the bat of R.H. Franklin. Jim McGuire going to come out and talk to the umpire and see if he can get them together. And let's see if we thinking there might be a interference. I'm gonna have to get a better setup here. I got to keep switching back and forth to see my replays. The runner from second going to third base seemed to alter how Carter Vrabel went after that ball. He had to kind of come inside. That's Brady Holloway. He had to come inside, so they'll get together and find out if they thought fielder was interfered by the runner coming to third base. Go back and look at the replay as well on the YouTube channel. All three umpires are gathered together. As it stands right now, one run is in, and the bases will still be loaded, and we're going to make some changes. So the runner from that scored will come back to third base, I think. Let's see who's coming off the field. R.H. Franklin was the one who hit the ball. And honestly, folks, I don't know the ruling on this. Head coach Eric Schoenrock down there pleading his case to Tim Taylor. Third base umpire. I say it's Tim Taylor. It may not be. It could be Todd Rollins, I think, is his name. We didn't get the names of the umpires. So Brady Holloway looks like he's going back to second base. First base umpire is coming out telling where everybody gets to go. Seems to be a difference of opinion maybe between the umpires. But the first base umpire is pretty adamant about what's to happen. Right now we got two runners at second base, Bryce Turner and Brady Holloway. So Tyler Harrington, I think they're calling back out of the dugout to go back to third base. There goes Harrington back to third. Is it the batter who's out? That's Brady Holloway that's coming back to the dugout. I'm sorry, R.H. Franklin. Brady Holloway.
How about him? Number 20.
Holy smokes, what's happened? Okay, R.H. Franklin gets on first base. Brady Holloway is out. And we're back to playing baseball. The bases are still loaded. 3-1 is the score. So Holloway is out on interference. Cade Sanders gets a swinging strike by B.J. Banyan. I don't know if R.H. Franklin gets a base hit or not on that. I have to research that one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out now, and the Pioneers looking for a doodat double play to get out of the inning. There's a ground ball, could be 2. Matt Hall to second. Huddleston to first base. The runner is safe. Nice hustle by B.J. Banyan to get an RBI on the fielder's choice. Harrington will score on the play. R.H. Franklin will be erased at second base on the 4-6. So 2 outs now. Runners at the corners, first and third. Brought to you by Line to Line. Athletic Director Bobby Hudson and a security guard are up in the stands to the right. Still talking as Blake Rowe swings at a pitch that nearly lands on his back left leg. He struck out swinging in the second. John Cully says go Southwest. There's a softly hit ground ball that Huddleston will be run into by B.J. Banyan. That may be interference by the runner. Huddleston hobbling around. See if I can see that on a replay, but Jim McGuire is not coming out. Huddleston's dropped his glove, and he is hurting. No idea what happens there. As Jim McGuire just now coming out of the dugout. P.J. Banyan actually did look like he was trying to avoid Huddleston there. No idea what happened. Huddleston still doesn't have his glove on his left hand. Now he's put it back on there.
Next to bat, number 19, Evan Ash.
Evan Ash will get his first plate appearance. Swings and misses. So an infield single for Blake Rowe. I'm not sure if it may be an error. I'm not sure. Was it 1-2? You put up a hit for R.H. Franklin, I guess, and I'm not sure that that is correct or not. We'll have to do some research. But the game is tied, that is for sure. Evan Ash swinging from the right side, 2 outs, runners at first and second. He is in for the injured Copeland Bradford. Just missed inside. With that pitch, count goes 3 balls and a strike. Thank goodness for replay on the YouTube. 3-1 pitch in there for a called strike. We have a full count, Ministries full count with runners at first and second. Huddleston still bent over his knees. Breaking pitch misses high, and Kate Sanders has walked Evan Ash to bring us to the top of the lineup. Tui Cope steps in. First walk of the ball game by
13, Tui Cope.
Cade Sanders. B.J. Banyan down at third base and Blake Rowe at second. Evan Ash on at first base with a walk. Fastball misses away. A right-hander getting loose down. And we have a time violation on Cade Sanders. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes now to Tui Cope. Can't see who that is down there even with my binos. 3-0. Sanders, no place to put Tui Cope. You see who that is down in the bullpen there? Tui Cope is 1 for 2, singled and scored in the first, struck out in the third. Batting here in the 4th inning. And that is a 4-pitch walk. I would say that's the end of the line for Cade Sanders. Now comes Jim McGuire. We'll take a break. Tell you about the new pitcher. We return on the VolState Sports Network. Anthony Zarlingo, the 9th batter to come to the plate. He will face new pitcher Keegan Evick from Clarksville, Tennessee. Rossview High School, and he is on in relief of Cade Sanders, who goes 2/3 of an inning. Base is still loaded with 2 outs. Evick delivers a fastball in there for a called strike. Coach McGuire looking for somebody who'll throw strikes right here as Noah Eatman walked 2 after giving up a double in the start of this inning, and an infield single that was nubbed off of Cade Sanders. Possibility that's an error on Ethan Huddleston, but that was a tough play, and Blake Rowe hustling down the line. He runs well, so probably an infield single. But a walk to Evan Ash and a walk to Tui Cope by Cade Sanders spells the end of that outing. Keegan Evick in, and he hits that outside corner with a called strike. Doesn't throw it hard, but throws strikes. Zarlingo 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 3 runs across in this crazy inning that's seen a lot of different things going on the field and off. Evick trying to pick at that outside corner. Zarlingo has seen a couple times where that pitch is called a strike. Tyler Harrington standing on deck, and Pioneers don't want to see him this inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another pitch that goes low and away. Thanks for staying up with us. We are just past the midnight hour Central Time here in Middle Tennessee. Full Count Ministries, full count, runners taking off. Swing and a miss, and actually a foul tip into the mitt, so a full count first pitch foul ball, but a hat trick for Anthony Zarlingo and 1 strikeout for Keegan Evick, who comes in a bases loaded 2-out jam to get a final out. 3 runs on, I have no idea how many hits. I think at least 2. I'm not sure how to rule that runner interference. I'm going to say 2 hits for now. No errors, 3 runners left on base. We're through 4 crazy innings here, and the Salukis lead 4-3. Welcome back. The crazy game number 12 of the conference tournament. Carter Vrabel will face relief pitcher Dawson Hargrove on in relief of Markel Dixon. He goes 4 innings. 7 strikeouts, 9 walks. Hard throwing right-hander Dawson Hargrove. See if he can throw the ball over the plate. Breaking pitch fouled off to the right side. Markel Dixon only gave up 2 hits, but 3 runs. Popped up in the infield. Over is Brady Holloway, and he'll make the grab for out number 1. Carter Vrabel now 1 for 3. Pinch hitting for Landon Luderman is Jacob Messer. Luderman 0 for 2. He struck out twice. Messer, redshirt sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee. It's his first at-bat of the tournament. Got a new left fielder out there, Anthony Zarlingo. Out of the ball game, I would assume. Have to check it. When he gets closer in. Actually, it may be B.J. Banyan who's moved over to left field. Because that looks like C.J. Thomas out in center field. Jacob Messer fouls that one off. C.J. Thomas is out in center field. R.H. Franklin still in right. So I assume C.J. Thomas enters for Anthony Zarlingo. Struck out 3 times. Messer just gets a piece of that 2-2 pitch. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Pitch is high, counts goes full count Ministries, full count. The 3-2 fouled off. 3 out of 4 unofficial results. Drive, fly ball to left field. New left fielder, B.J. Banyan. Moved over from center field. Makes the catch for out number 2. Jacob Messer retired. Caleb Hawkins will step in.
Next at bat for VolState, number 17, Caleb Hawkins.
Hawkins 0 for 1, walked in the 3rd. Swinging to the first pitch, fouls that one off. Called strike. Hawkins now down. No balls, 2 strikes. Pioneers down 4-3 to Southwest Tennessee. A choke and a poke That will go foul. Hawkins just trying to stay alive. Nearly got one over the head of Brady Holloway. Nobody on, 2 outs. Hawkins swings and misses at a slider away, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Southwest Tennessee. First strikeout for Dawson Hargrove, who came on in relief here in the 5th inning. 4-3, Southwest Tennessee leads. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. For the 2nd inning in a row, Tyler Harrington will lead off for Southwest Tennessee, formerly known as, see if anybody out there listening knows, send it in on the chat, the former name of Southwest Tennessee down in Memphis, Tennessee. Keegan Evick back out on the mound for the Pioneers. He's now throwing to his 2nd batter of the game. Came in and bases loaded, 2 outs, struck out Anthony Zarlingo. Take a cut, Tyler Harrington. Comes up empty on that breaking pitch. Trying to drive 1-2 Bowling Green. Fouls that one off to the right side. Now down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Harrington doubled down the left field line to start the 4th. A crazy inning. Lots of stuff happening. 1-2 pitch, fastball high and away. Like maybe things have settled down a bit in the stands. I don't know that anybody was ejected, but it has appeared to thin out, and a foul ball as Harrington starts to swing and just gets a piece of that one. He scored one of the 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Keegan Evick trying to keep it close, see if his Pioneers can come back. Elimination game here on day number 3, game number 12. I have a Full Count Ministries full count. See Commissioner Foster Chasen is down here since softball has concluded. He's been the administrator up at the softball complex. That ball is fouled off to the left side, and 4 for 5 on the full count first pitch foul balls. Got a player obviously walking around down in front. I don't think that's somebody that's going and getting foul balls, as I see Devin Thrain, medical, out on medical right now. Another foul ball straight back. Evick trying to keep it inside, not allow Tyler Harrington to get his arms out. From Lakeland, Tennessee, attended Briarcrest Christian, a transfer from Memphis University. Got in 9 games a year ago, 1 for 11. It was a double. But used up a year of eligibility. I believe he is committed to a school in Alabama. He going to UAB? Sources familiar with the situation indicate he's going to the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Walk to Tyler Harrington. Leads off the 5th inning. First walk by Keegan Evick. Strike called. Pitch down low. Evick looking for a ground ball, and he gets one, but it's sliced into left field for a base hit by Brady Holloway, and runners now at first and second. Bryce Turner steps to the plate.
Next at bat for Southwest, number 0, Bryce Turner.
Evick appearing in his 8th game of the year, 6th in relief, 10 plus innings of work, 5 hits now, 6 on the year. Now 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Bryce Turner steps to the plate. Not squaring around a bunt. And he takes a healthy hack. One ball, 1 strike. He's 0 for 1. Walked in the 4th. He was the last batter that Noah Eatman faced. Ended up coming around to score. Fouls that one off to the right side. Looking to put a big inning together here for Southwest Tennessee and put some distance between themselves and the Pioneers. Trying to upset the Salukis, the number 6 seed Pioneers, against the number 3 seeded Southwest Tennessee Salukis. That misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, nobody out. Keegan Evick needs a ground ball to a middle infielder. And a nice hop would be just what he's looking for. That pitch fouled off. Two-two pitch from Keegan Evick, popped up in the infield. That'll be an infield fly roll. Landon Gotze will come over and make the catch. Evick went over to cover first base, just like he's taught. Bryce Turner retired on the pop out. Brings R.H. Franklin to the plate. And he started the craziness. It was all him. Bases loaded. He hits a ground ball to between shortstop and third base. Brady Holloway, who is at second base, was deemed ultimately to have interfered with Carter Vrabel, who's coming over from third base. Runner goes from second and first. Throw down to second base. Tag applied, and the runner safe. Harrington steals third, and Holloway steals second. Evick did not pay enough attention. Harrington had a great jump at second. Couldn't see the jump for Holloway, but R.H. Franklin now will look at a 1-0 pitch that stays outside. Keegan Evick has some work to do here. A year ago, Evick was the midweek starter for VolState. Swing and a miss by R.H. Franklin. Trying to figure out how to score for R.H. Franklin when he hits a ball that is ultimately deemed runner interference. That runner is out. So Brady Holloway was out for the first out. R.H. Franklin reached first base, and the bases remained loaded just with one out. There's a softly hit ground ball. That'll score a run. Matt Hall throws wildly, and first base umpire says that Landon Gotze kept his foot on the bag. Southwest Tennessee wants an appeal down to the home plate umpire to see if maybe he saw Gotze's foot off the bag, but thus far no appeal is made, but an RBI ground out gets in another run. Tyler Harrington scores for the second time. Two outs. Five to 3 is the score. Swing and a miss by B.J. Banyan. On the play, Brady Holloway moves down to third base. Banyan, the new left fielder, is 0 for 2. Scored a run and drove one in on a fielder's choice. That is the first run of the year given up by Keegan Evick. Two outs. He's got a chance to get out of this with only one run, which would be a win after the first two reached. Breaking pitch popped up down the right side. That should get out of play. And you hear the clang off of the bleachers down the right side. That tells you it got out of play. B.J. Banyan, also a Memphis transfer, along with Price Watson, a left-handed pitcher. Another foul ball off to the right side. Blake Rowe standing on deck. 2-2 pitch. Hard shot to Carter Vrabel, has that one go under his glove, and another run scores on the E5. Not sure what happened to that, but looked like Carter just whiffed on that ground ball. Had to field it off to his left side. First error for VolState.
Number 4, Blake Rowe.
No RBI to B.J. Banyan, but 2 runs now in on the unearned run. Swing and a miss by Rowe. He had, but right now has been scored in my book as an infield single. Hit a slow roller over the head of, who would that have been? That would have been Cade Sanders. Ethan Huddleston tried to field that right in between the first and second in the baseline, close to second base, as B.J. Banyan was avoiding him at second base. And I'm not sure how he was injured, but somehow another Ethan Huddleston, who dropped the ball or did not play it. No throw was made to first base. Step off and throw to second. B.J. Banyan has not stolen second base as Keegan Evick ends up throwing to Matt Hall at the bag. That was a close play. But a pickoff, I guess, is how that's ruled. 1-4 for the final out. 2 runs on 1 hit. One of those runs unearned. There was 1 error. Nobody left on base. 5-3, or so we got. I don't know, we got 6-3. Letters are all running together in my tired eyes. After 5, you're watching the VolState Sports Network. Fred Matthews, you're the winner. Shelby State. I couldn't tell you how long ago it was, but I know it's a bunch of years. I think it's more than 20. I know 40 years ago when I was playing at Belmont, it was called Shelby State. Big J Charla grounds a hard ball to second base, but Tui Cope up with it, and throw is high to Brady Holloway, but he's able to keep his foot on the base. Jay Charla out 4-3 in the first pitch he sees from Dawson Hargrove. Second inning of work for Hargrove. Matt Hall steps in. He's 0 for 2. Lined out to center fielder, who was B.J. Banyan at the time, who made a nice catch on that hard hit ball by Matt Hall, who fouls that one at the plate. On deck, Ethan Huddleston. Not sure if Huddleston re-injured himself or if maybe he was disgusted with the play. I don't know what that reaction was earlier in the game. Breaking pitch to Matt Hall in there for a called strike. Now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Hargrove is just rearing back and throwing that fastball. 0-2 pitch to Matt Hall. Popped up off to the right side. It should get out of play. It's the 12th appearance of the year for Dawson Hargrove. Comes in with 13.50 ERA, but 1-2-3 inning in his first inning and is looking to retire the first two here in the 6th. 14 innings of work, 16 hits, 22 runs, 21 of earned, 9 walks, 15 strikeouts, and that is reared back and thrown high, and he falls off the mound and now has to do a little landscaping work. Opponent's hitting .281. He has hit 5 batters. Colton Brumley leads the squad in that category. Matt Hall will now look at a full count. Ministries full count. Dawson Hargrove can't believe that pitch wasn't called a strike. Walks around, kind of stalking on the first base side of the mound. Matt Hall in there for the full count. Popped up in the infield. Blake Rowe will get back right at the edge of the dirt. Make that catch for out number 2. That is not a full count first pitch foul ball. Ethan Huddleston will step to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Infield single in the 4th. Has scored 2 of the 3 runs for VolState. Sharp slider in there for a called strike. Pioneers down by 3 with now 2 outs and 2 strikes on the batter. Ethan Huddleston not a fan of that call. Two goes outside. Elimination game today. The second one of the day for these 2 clubs. Southwest Tennessee defeated Roan State 11-3, and Volunteer State defeated Dyersburg State 9-6. 2-2 pitch to Huddleston. Hit out to center field. That's weakly hit. That will be caught by C.J. Thomas. Diving catch. He started to go back and saw that that ball was like off the end of the bat and ends up coming in, and he makes a Superman catch diving in toward the infield for out number 3. Put a star by that one. 3 up, 3 down. That's 6 retired in a row by Dawson Hargrove. 6-3, Southwest Tennessee leads. Blake Rowe will lead off the bottom of the sixth for Southwest Tennessee, and he'll face a Summit Concrete call of the bullpen for the Pioneers. Number 24, Brett Dowling, freshman from Green Hill High School in Wilson County, and he slips on the mound and throws a pitch into the legs of Blake Rowe. First pitch that comes out of the hand of Brett Dowling ends up hitting Blake Rowe. Bring to the plate catcher Evan Ash, who walked.
Now batting for Southwest, number 19, Evan Ash.
See if he squares the bunt. He does not. Count is 1 ball, no strikes. Runner goes. Pitch is called a strike. Throw down to second base. Bounces off of Ethan Huddleston. Stolen base for Blake Rowe. Southwest Tennessee is running at will here. Come in with 139 stolen bases, and have to tally them up to see how many they got, but probably got 4 or 5. Ash fouls that one off. Count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cope has 1. Harrington has 1. Dowling looks back and delivers. That pitch nearly hits Ash. Holloway has a stolen base. And now Rowe, that's 4. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Evan Ash. Fastball rung up. Probably one of the better looking pitches on an outside corner that a batter has let go. So the first out of the inning. Tui Cope steps in. Surely the McDaniels aren't still watching from Grove City. Cope 1 for 2. He tries to lay down a bunt and fouls it back to the screen. No balls, 1 strike. Swinging a foul tip into the mid of Caleb Hawkins. Count now goes no balls and 2 strikes. .66 degrees. Actually, I think the temperature has increased since game time. It was 65 the start of today's game. Feels pretty cool outside as that fastball misses high. Brett Dowling, hard throwing right-hander. Trying to retire Tui Cope as C.J. Thomas stands at the ready on deck for his first at-bat of the ball game. Swing and a miss, and down goes Tui Cope. That's his second strikeout for Brett Dowling. The second time that Tui Cope has gone down. So C.J. Thomas, the new center fielder, in to replace Anthony Zarlingo. He steps in there. Former teammate of Jacob Messer at Memphis University School. He's a 6'4". I don't know if he's that tall. Let's say 6'3", 210 pound. Yeah, he's a pretty tall fella. He's a sophomore from Bartlett, Tennessee. Thomas hitting .236, 17 hits and 72 official at bats, 6 doubles. Swings and fouls that one off to the right. He stands next to Caleb Hawkins. He's a little bit taller than Caleb, but Hawk's probably about 6'2". One ball, one strike as Dowling looks back at second. Drilled out the left field. This ball is headed for the parking lot, and it will get out for a 2-run home run. C.J. Thomas got all that one, and that's the first long ball of the year for Thomas. A 2-run shot puts Southwest Tennessee up 8-3. Looks like a pretty good move right now by head coach Eric Schoenrock to take Anthony Zarlingo down for C.J. Thomas. Zarlingo had struck out 3 times. C.J. Thomas comes in and drives that ball out of the ballpark for a 2-run shot. Tyler Harrington now gets an at-bat against Brett Dowling. Harrington now asks a little time so he can get some pine tar. Blake Rowe was hit by a pitch, the first pitch that Dowling delivered here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Evan Ashton struck out looking. Tui Cope struck out swinging, and C.J. Thomas drove a line drive over the left field fence. Now 2 balls and no strikes to Tyler Harrington, who's 1 for 2. Doubled and scored in the 4th, walked and scored in the 5th. Fouls that one out of play down the right side. Two balls, one strike to the Salukis third baseman. Another foul ball. On drive out to right field, Jace Mizell will come in and make the catch for out number 3. 2-run home run by C.J. Thomas. Extends the lead for Southwest Tennessee, 8-3. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. Jake Burris leads off for the Pioneers, facing Dawson Hargrove, out for his third inning of work. He's retired all 6 batters that he's faced. Hargrove's slider gets in there for a called strike. Another slider nearly hits Jake Burris. This is Hargrove's first appearance of the tournament. That one misses high. Another one that pushes Burris back. Jake Burris trying to become the first base runner. See if putting Hargrove into the stretch would make a difference. 3 balls and a strike to the center fielder. Takes a healthy cut on a high fastball. Comes up empty. Well, full count Ministries, full count. Another full count. First pitch, foul ball. 5 out of 7 here in this contest. Drive down the right field line. That is headed for the Salukis bullpen. Burris will face a third full count pitch. Hargrove from Spring Hill, Tennessee. Swing and a miss, and down goes Burris.
Now batting for VolState, number 30, Landon Gutsy.
Second strikeout for Hargrove. He's retired now 7 in a row, facing Landon Gutsy. Pops that one up, out of play. Gutsy has walked in each of his 3 plate appearances. Those were all against Markel Dixon, who walked in 9. Gutsy was number 2, 5, and 9. Markel Dixon went 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, walked to 9, and struck out 7. Swing and a miss on a slider that got by Evan Ash. Did not start this ball game. He came in the top of the 4th inning. For the injured Copeland Bradford. Fisted, should be handled by Tui Cope as he backpedals into right center field, and he makes the catch. That got in on Landon Gotsy's hands. Retired for the first time in the ball game. Chase Mizell steps to the plate. He's walked
number 34,
twice and
Mizell.
Struck out in the 3rd. He was the last batter that Markel Dixon faced. Starts to go, holds up, but a called strike. The 3rd inning of work. Hargrove trying to hit 9 up, 9 down. Looks like a good chance of that, as Brady Holloway will make the catch just in foul territory for the 3rd out of the 7th. Pioneers down to the last 2 innings. Down in the count, 8-3. You're watching TCCAA conference action on the VolState Sports Network. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Pioneers. Landon Tucker on in relief. He is the 5th pitcher for the Pioneers. Tucker comes in for the 14th appearance of the year. All in relief, 3.86 ERA, 14 innings of work, side arm delivery, giving up 10 hits, 8 runs, 6 are earned, 14 walks, 11 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .208 off of the sophomore from LaGrange, Georgia. And he gives up a base hit to Brady Holloway. He is now 3 for 3 in the ball game. Holloway has 6 hits in the tournament, and they're all against the Pioneers.
Now batting for Southwest, number 0, Bryce Turner.
Tucker pitched earlier today. Retired 1 batter, a strikeout against Dyersburg State. Struck out Pierre Seals in the 6th inning. Now facing Bryce Turner with 1 on, nobody out, looking for a ground ball. And no longer looking for a ground ball is that fastball that rides in on Turner, gets by Caleb Hawkins for a wild pitch. There was a lot of movement on that fastball. Bryce Turner had the "don't hit me" dance. Get out of the way of that fastball inside. Brady Holloway moves down to second base. Now in scoring position with nobody out. There's a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Big Jay Sharla still out in left field. Jake Burris in center. Jace Mizell in right. Carter Vrabel at third. Ethan Huddleston at short. Matt Hall at second. Landon Godsey at first base. Caleb Hawkins catches that breaking pitch that swung on and missed. Count now goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bryce Turner looking for his first hit of the ball game. He's 0 for 2. Walked and scored in the 4th inning. Fouls that one off the screen. Just past 1 p.m. Central Time. If if you're in the Eastern time zone and you're staying up, you might be crazy. That ball gets away from Hawkins, another wild pitch. See how many folks are checking out the broadcast. There's still 121. Now, I'm sorry, it just refreshed. It's down to 111. And I'm one. Riley Palmer. Time to go to bed, Riley, and that pitch inside on a full count. Bryce Turner walks for the second time.
Next at bat for Southwest, number 22.
Runners at the corners, brought to you by Line to Line. Jake Sharla, the father of Jay Sharla, says that Bill Marbett was his some kind of a coach. I didn't read the whole email. Let me see if I can go back. Jake probably in bed. Sent me a picture. Sherry Burr says she's still watching. Crazy, I tell you. You folks are crazy. You can watch it on replay tomorrow morning. She's not sure about her mom and dad, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning there. And she's got to teach tomorrow. That's what parents do. Called strike as it comes out of the glove of Caleb Hawkins, but plate umpire says that caught the corner. Connie McDaniel, as of 15 minutes ago, says still watching. You guys get the gold star for dedication. Breaking pitch swung on and missed by R.H. Franklin, who is at least 0 for 2, might be 1 for 3. I don't know how that ruling goes yet on the runner interference that occurred in the 4th inning as to whether or not he gets a base hit on that or what, since the fielder who was going to field the ground ball, Carter Vrabel, could not field the ground ball in order to throw out R.H. Franklin. So I don't know how you can give R.H. Franklin a hit on that. Might be a fielder's choice that he reaches, as I think that's my best bet, that it's a fielder's choice. Breaking pitch, it's underneath the legs of Caleb Hawkins, but not far enough for Bryce Turner to advance, and we'll have a full count. Ministries full count. Time is called. Tucker delivers, runner goes. That ball is grounded over the bag, and Ethan Huddleston will make the throw on to first base. Almost a tailor-made double play, but an RBI ground out to score the 9th run of the ball game. Pretty similar to the same play that occurred in that crazy 4th inning. Blake Rowe grounded up the middle. Tucker misses wild outside on that pitch. Brady Holloway, who led off the inning with a single in right field, comes in to score. Bryce Turner now on at second base. They're crazy in Toronto. Jen Ash just passing 2 o'clock in the morning, rooting for the Salukis. Still hanging in Seminole, Florida, Monty Myers. Thank you for the kind comments. Swing and a miss by B.J. Banyan. He is 0 for 3, scored a run, drove in a run on a fielder's choice. 1 out and 1 on and 1 in. Folks, I appreciate the kind comments on the chat. And if you see me at the ballpark, time to time, folks will stop by and tell me how much they appreciate being able to see and watch the ball game. It's not ESPN quality, but we're doing the best we can with what we have. Full Count Ministries broadcast equipment, and that pitch from Tucker hits B.J. Banyan. A hit batter. He'll reach base again. We've got semi-professional producer over here, Reagan Smith. When he's a college graduate from right here at Volunteer State Community College with a degree in communications. We'll see how well he can take us off to a break, as we'll have a new pitcher for the Pioneers after this short break. Semi-concrete call to the bullpen for the Pioneers brings on 6'4" left-hander from Lebanon, Tennessee, John Tomlinson. Wearing number 28. I gave him an extra inch than what's on the roster. It says 6'3", 180. He's a redshirt freshman transfer from Middle Tennessee State University. He is on in relief of Landon Tucker. This is Tomlinson's 10th appearance of the year, 9th in relief. 18-plus innings, giving up 19 hits, 13 runs that were earned. Walked 14, struck out 19. And he will face, we have a new batter here. We do, Connor Brinkley. 6-4-3, a do-dat double play on the first pitch that John Tomlinson throws. just what the doctor ordered off the bat of Connor Brinkley, who was pinch hitting for Blake Rowe. 6-4-3. Double play. Switch hitting. Shortstop. I think that's right, Connor Brinkley. We'll check it. It's late, folks. We're out of the inning. 1 run scored and a score of 9-3. Be right back on the VolState Network. Carter Vrabel will lead off here in the top of the 8th inning. Dawson Hargrove out for inning number 4. First batter he faced when he came in the 5th was Carter Vrabel, who popped out to the first baseman. He's retired 9 straight batters. Breaking pitch. Apparently missed inside. I was waiting for the umpire to throw up the right hand. Vrabel 1 for 3 this contest. Fouls that one off. Only 2 hits for the Pioneers. That is an infield single by Ethan Huddleston and base hit into left field that drove in a run in the 3rd by Carter Vrabel. High fly ball to left field. B.J. Banyan will get under it. Make the catch for out number 1. Pioneers running out of outs as Carter Vrabel has the realization that might be his last at-bat as a Pioneer. Frustratingly
Now batting for VolState,
slams the bat on the ground.
Jacob Messer.
Jacob Messer will get his second AB as the DH. He flew out to left field in the 5th inning. Just a bit high and outside. This young man reminds me of Will Pryor, a right-handed pitcher for Belmont University. True freshman who he gives it everything he has. That pop up out of play. A souvenir for some lucky fan. Nope, there's Devin Thrane. He's out to wrestle it away from somebody. Two balls, 1 strike to the left-handed hitting outfielder. Pops that one up into the infield. Connor Brinkley, who's the new shortstop, will get under that. make the catch for out number 2. Somebody still got some energy at 1:15 a.m.
Next to bat for VolState, number 17, Caleb Hawkins.
Now 11 in a row retired by Dawson. That's a deep fly ball to left field. Back goes B.J. Banyan. And Caleb Hawkins has just gone yard. Solo shot for Caleb Hawkins for his first hit of the ball game. If it's going to be your last at-bat at your college, make it a big fly. That is Caleb Hawkins' 4th dinger of the year. Pioneers down 9-4, and Hunter Searcy will hit for Jay Sharla, sophomore from Louisville, son of Larry and Dodie Searcy. What's the chances they're up and awake? So the first runner to reach against Dawson Hargrove is Caleb Hawkins, and he did it in grand style. Searcy looks at a breaking pitch, catches the inside corner. Starts to go, called strike. That nearly hit Searcy. 2 outs. There's going to be a called strike 3. That was the best looking pitch of the at-bat. Searcy goes down looking for out number 3. 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left on base. 9-4, Southwest Tennessee leads. We're just talking a little baseball here at 1:22 in the morning.
Number 19,
Evan Ash, the catcher, steps in for his 3rd at-bat. Faced John Tomlinson, who came on and got a 6-4-3 double play to end the 7th with 1 pitch. Just been advised that the 6-4-3 double play was not Huddleston to Hall to Godsey. It was Hall to Overbay, Corbin Overbay, got in the game to Godsey as quickly no balls and 2 strikes and 2 lost balls. positive as to when Corbin Overbay got in, but at least he was in the bottom of the 7th inning. Not the official book, but if I have to go back and check, I will. Jamie Mizell says, "Go Hawk." Reference to Caleb Hawkins on his solo shot. Plate umpire says, "I got one more baseball." 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now we'll go to a full count. Full count Ministries, full count. Will he swing? He will, and he'll hit a shot to Corbin Overbay, who catches it right before it starts to hop for the 2nd time. And Evan Ash is retired 4-3 for the first out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hunter Searcy now playing left field. Jake Burris still in center field, and Jace Mizell still in right field. Couple baseballs coming from the Salukis side of the field. So Ethan Huddleston has been taken out of the ball game, potentially, unless there's a massive comeback in the top of the 9th. That ball just missed by Caleb Hawkins. Not sure what happened there. This will be the final game of the careers of the starting 8 that were in the field. And Southwest Tennessee will go on to play Chattanooga State tomorrow at 1 p.m. And the winner of that game will play Walter State at 4 p.m. Ground ball to the left of Carter Vrabel. He comes up with that one, throws a strike over to Landon Gotze. Tui Cope out 5-3, so 2 ground outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Thrown by John Tomlinson. And C.J. Thomas will get another at-bat. He had a big 2-run home run to left field in the 6th, his first long ball of the year. Changeup catches the middle of the plate. Thomas came on for Anthony Zarlingo in the top of the 5th inning. He nudged B.J. Banyan over to left field and took over in center field. Started to go, apparently did not check his swing. And a swing and a miss. C.J. Thomas down on strikes. We're heading to the top of the 9th. Pioneers need 5 to stay in the ball game. Lady Pioneers did it at least 3 runs in game 1 and almost did it in game 2. Let's see if the men can do it. You're watching the VolState Sports Network. Matt Hall steps in for the Pioneers here to lead off the top of the 9th inning. Pioneers 4 runs on 3 hits. Breaking pitch swung on and fouled off to the right side. Matt Hall 0 for 3, looking for a base hit in what probably is the last at bat as a Pioneer. Fouls another one off. On deck, Corbin Overbay, freshman from Sevier County over in East Tennessee. Starts to go, let's say, check down at first base. First base umpire says no, he did not. This game started at 10:10. 3 hours and 20 minutes in. Probably had 15 minutes of issues going on outside. Swing and a miss. Down goes Hall. 4th strikeout by Dawson Hargrove. Had an outstanding performance here in relief of Markel Dixon. Hargrove in line for the win.
Corbin Overbay.
Corbin Overbay, his first at bat of the tournament. Breaking pitch misses high. Overbay comes in hitting .308 in limited action. They'll get a called strike on the inside corner there. Playing in game number 13 of the year. He has 4 hits and 13 at-bats. 1 double and has a long ball. Home run. 2 RBIs. Three balls and a strike. Hargrove pours one in there for a full count. Ministries full count. His only blemish, a solo home run off the bat of Caleb Hawkins in the 8th inning. And Corbin Overbay delivers a base hit right up the middle. Not a full count first pitch foul ball, but a line drive base hit. Congratulations to Corbin Overbay. Ethan Huddleston finishes 1 for 3 on the day, or in this game. Actually 5 for 5 in game 1, so he was, what, 6 for 8 on the day. Scored 2 runs. Jake Burris steps to the plate, looking for his first hit in this ball game. Swing and a miss. Ground out, lined out to the right fielder, walked, stranded at third base, and struck out in the 7th. Gotta have been one of the most, I'm not using the right words here at 1:30 in the morning, but played in the most games, played in 3 years. 2021, which did not count for junior college action. Played 76 games in 2021 and 2022. This is game number 53 for Jake Burris. So 129 ball games for the Pioneers. Had a fantastic career as he finishes up. That ball's in the dirt, blocked by Evan Ash. Pioneers now with 4 runs and 4 hits. Right back here at 1 p.m. for the losers bracket championship game. Overhand breaking pitch nearly caught Burris looking. That was a big bender. Jake Burris very, very close to getting rung up on that one. Based on everything I've seen all day, I'm really surprised that didn't happen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looked like a pretty good pitch, really. That fastball misses outside. Young man is bringing it now. It's got to be at least low to mid-90s would be my guess. Well, the Full Count Ministries full count. 1 out, 1 on. Salukis looking for a do-dat double play to finish this ball game off. And instead, before that, have a full count first pitch foul ball. That's 6 out of 9 in this ball game. Standing on deck, hoping to get an at-bat, Landon Godsey. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, and Burris goes down on strikes. 5th strikeout by Dawson Hargrove. Pioneers now down to their last out. Landon Godsey walked 3 times, popped out to the second baseman. He's looking for his first hit. Fouls that one down to the hospitality pavilion or just into the bullpen. I couldn't really see where it went, but everybody kept yelling out, out. Corbin Overbay leads off at first base. There's a shot up the middle, and Landon Godsey will get a base hit into center field, bringing up Jace Mizell. A situation almost similar to this, at least in terms of it's in the top of the 9th inning, and 2 runners were on in the game against Dyersburg this morning. Jace Mizell hit his 18th home run of the year. That put the Pioneers up 9-6, and they ended up shutting the door in the bottom of the 9th, and that's how they got to this game. Landon Godsey will head to Belmont University here in Nashville, Tennessee, and Jace Mizell will stay in Nashville and head to Trevecca Nazarene at Division II school. Fouled off, straight back. Starting pitcher Country Cade McKee will head to Midway University. Ethan here, reserve player for the Pioneers, will head to school in Indiana. That pitch misses way outside. And right now, my brain can't tell me where anybody else might be going. I don't know that anybody's committed. Carter Vrabel standing on deck. He'll go somewhere next year. I'm just not sure exactly where. He's hoping to get an at-bat. Ground ball to short. Brinkley will go the short way to Tui Cope at second base to end this ball game. And the Southwest Tennessee Salukis defeat the Pioneers 9-4 as we finish up at 1:38 a.m. Not a whole lot, I guess, to say about this ball game. Both teams very tired, but the Salukis end up with the win. They had a great year. Pioneers will fall to 32-23. for the season. And for all you Pioneers fans that have stuck through here in this game, God bless you. And when you go back and listen to this on tape, just know that from my heart, I've loved bringing you the action. If you've been with us for 2 years here for the Pioneers, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for accepting me into your homes, into your cars, wherever you've watched the broadcasts, and when you've come to the ballpark, the kind comments that you've given to me in person and via email, and some even via text. I want to thank you very much. It's been one of the joys of my life to broadcast these games for the VolState Pioneers for these last 2 years, and I've enjoyed the conference tournament here as well. I'll be back to broadcast 2 more games tomorrow. But for the VolState faithful, I thank you, and I pray God's blessings upon each of you and your family. So for Commissioner Forrest Chasen of the TCCAA Conference Tournament, and for Athletic Director Bobby Hudson and Head Coach Jim McGuire, Tim Reese for Reagan Smith saying good night. God bless you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.